Good morning. Please be seated. I would first like to recognize the presence of Dr. Glenn Jacobs, Provost, SGU, Dr. Brendan Lagrenade, Vice Provost for Institutional Advancement, Dr. Lisa K. Nolan, our keynote speaker, Dr. Neil Olson, Dean of the School of Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Lucy Clunes, Dean of Students, Dr. Joanna Rayner, representing Dr. Marios Lucas, Dean of the School of Medicine, Dr. Sarah Raby, Chair of the Department of Educational Services, Dr. Kimon Cummings, Chief Veterinary Officer, Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, other faculty members, staff, specially invited guests, parents, students, ladies, and gentlemen. I also wish to acknowledge all SGU SVM faculty and graduates present and invite them to stand. My name is Jeremy Redmond, and I am a 2016 graduate of SGU's School of Veterinary Medicine. As a Vermont native, it was my dream to go and be a primary care equine practitioner in ambulatory practice back in the northeast part of the United States. That dream never came true. Instead, it grew. And that is thanks to the experiences and mentorship that I had here at SGU. They saw a greater potential in me, and they helped me see a broader world of opportunities. And with bigger dreams in mind, after graduation, I went on to seek advanced training, first with an internship in large animal medicine and surgery at Texas A&M University, followed by a large animal internal medicine residency at Oregon State University. Currently, I am the Director of Clinical Skills at Louisiana State University School of Veterinary Medicine, as well as an Assistant Professor of Equine Medicine in their hospital. The Louisiana heat and humidity is definitely not something that I'm proud of as a true and through Vermont native. However, I'm reminded every day working there why I love my job so much, and it will make me stay there as long as possible. I am so grateful to still see so many SGU faculty remaining here at this campus that was part of the family that I became part of back in 2012. I welcome all of you to this family as well, that you will become close and get to know over the next 3 years. As a large animal veterinarian, it is not often that you'll actually find me in a suit and tie. So this only happens on truly momentous occasions. And to say that I was honored to be invited back to be the master of ceremony for your ceremony today is truly an understatement. Being back in Grenada brings floods of memories and reflections on how my life has been shaped by this island and this school. I hope it will do the same for all of you. And I would like to share just 4 brief words with you that I hope you will take with you on your journey across this island and beyond. Those words are family, values, creativity, and reflection. With family, which you've already heard me use in my welcome, is that you're going to build an island family here and cherish them. But don't forget those that are back home. Both will provide you with the support needed to be successful. And as life continues on, remember to build new families wherever you go, as they will continue to build upon your strong foundation that you have. Values. What do you hold near and dear to your heart? Think about these and remember them. But be open to new values. You're going to get to experience values of others around you. Not just of Grenada, though it is a big and glorious culture, but also of your fellow classmates and faculty from across the globe. Value this opportunity. Creativity. A valuable professional skill that you will gain at SGU. Get creative to handle the unexpected, and you'll be ready for anything. As an educator of clinical skills at LSU, my ingenuity in being able to develop models for teaching utilizing everyday materials has a strong foundation from my time here at SGU. And while many great modernizations may have occurred since my time here, it still stems from the creative minds who made dreams reality. Lastly, self-reflection can be one of the hardest things that we can do as individuals, especially in a profession dominated by introverts. Whoever wants to admit that they could have done something better, okay? But I encourage you to pause and at times reflect on a recent experience, good or bad, and ask yourself, what went well? And what could I do better next time? I encourage you to remember these words, family, values, creativity, and reflection, and think back on them from time to time. If you can't remember them, don't worry. I'm pretty sure this is recorded. Don't panic, Dr. Nolan. And students, don't trip on stage, as you will be haunted by that, I'm sure, at your 6th-term slideshow. If you can't laugh at yourself, you can't enjoy life. Let's move forward. St. George's School of Veterinary Medicine aims to offer exceptional opportunities for veterinary education and graduate studies for students from an international community comparable to the finest veterinary programs available in the US or elsewhere. We aim to provide professional services to Grenada and other Caribbean locales while establishing a reputation for research and educational excellence. SGU's School of Veterinary Medicine accepted its first class in August of 1999 and has accepted 2 classes each year since then. SGU SVM conducts its 1st through 6th term classes on the True Blue campus in Grenada, where we are currently. Students then complete their 4th year clinical training at one of 31 affiliated universities in the US, UK, Canada, Ireland, or Australia. 2005 marked a milestone for the SVM when the Society of Phi Zeta, the National Veterinary Honor Society for veterinary faculty and students, installed its first international chapter at St. George's University. The SVM was also accredited by the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, or RCVS, in 2019. My apologies. To date, SGU SVM has over 2,000 graduates from all over the world, including, get ready, the USA, UK, Canada, Sweden, Ireland, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, Venezuela, Russia, Mexico, Colombia, Japan, Lesotho, Portugal, Germany, Botswana, Pakistan, South Africa, and Israel, who are licensed to practice in 41 states in the US, UK, Canada, and Grenada. In September 2011, the American Veterinary Medical Association Council on Education, also known as the AVMA COE, announced its full accreditation of the university's Doctor of Veterinary Medicine program for 7 years. The DVM program was reaccredited by the AVMA COE in October 2018 for another 7 years. In 2016, the American Animal Hospital Association, or AHA, gave its stamp of approval, accrediting the School of Veterinary Medicine Small Animal Clinic for 2 years, making it the second practice outside of the United States and Canada to earn the distinction. The clinic was reaccredited for 3 years by the AHA in January 2019, and again in December 2022 for 3 more years. The SVM was also accredited by the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, or RCVS, in 2019. This accreditation renders veterinary students who pursue the global veterinary health track here at SGU SVM eligible to practice in the UK after graduation. SGU SVM continues to strive toward establishing leading-edge veterinary knowledge, expanding its curriculum, and leveraging new technology in state-of-the-art laboratories and classrooms. It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium Dr. Glenn Jacobs, Provost of St. George's University, who brings greetings from the university administration.
Thank you. Good morning. A special word of welcome to our Honorable Lennox John Andrews, the Minister of Economic Development, Planning, Tourism, Creative Economy, Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries, and Cooperatives. Thank you very much for being here today with us. And as I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of the SGU Senior Administration. A special word of welcome to family, friends, and loved ones present here today. I see there's quite a few of you here at the back. I hope you are enjoying the island and your time here in Grenada with us. Thank you very much for spending this weekend on the island. Students, welcome. This is about you today. So you are getting your white coat. And it's a very special day for all of you. Now, I am not going to speak about the meaning and the relevance of the white coat, as other speakers here today will be speaking to that. But since the beginning of the term, I've stopped several students on the campus, spoke to several of you, and I've asked you guys, hey, how's things going? Now, if I ask you that, there's a mixture of emotions going on in your head and answer to my question. And some of the responses that I have received are, for instance, man, it's a beautiful campus, so scenic, a great island. The people are so friendly. It's hot. I can agree, it has been hot. And then also, man, if it rains, these heavy rains can really mess up your movement between class and going from the one place to the next. And actually, these little umbrellas, they don't really work. Yep, all of that is true. But you know what I also hear quite a lot from all of you? I have so much work, and I am so fearful. I am so anxious. I heard that probably more than anything else. So that triggered me to share the following thoughts with you here today. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Pixar movie series. Oh, I see a lot of head shaking. And the animated movies, that's basically what they are. And the one I'm sure most of you know, even if I know that, I'm sure you would also know that, is Toy Story. All right, we all know Toy Story. I'm not going to speak about Toy Story. But there's another one that I want to refer to, and that one's name is Inside Out. Okay, many of you have obviously watched this little movie. And I just thought, this is a great story to tell today. So this movie rotates around a little girl with the name of Riley, as you all know. But the big thing in this movie is that this individual goes through emotions. And they speak about emotions in this little movie, the psyche that people go through. And they refer to 5 emotions, which are anger, disgust, sadness, joy, and fear. Now, during your time here at St. George's University, I would have hoped that I could stand here today and say, you're only going to have joy. No, that's not going to happen. That's just not life. That's just not how we live. I can nearly guarantee you that you are going to go through all these emotions, probably. But what I want to leave with you here today is that is okay. You know, it's okay to sometimes feel anxious or fearful. It's actually okay to sometimes feel sad. We will go through all these emotions, anger. But what you have and what you need to recognize is how are you going to navigate out of a certain emotion? If you get stuck in a negative emotion, what are you going to do? And I want to ask of you, this university, where you are, have many mechanisms in place to deal with any issue that you might have. Do not get stuck in a negative emotion. We will help navigate you to a more joyous emotion. Now today, you're definitely not stuck in a negative emotion. This is a joyous occasion, and this is a special moment that you can share with each other and with your family. And enjoy it, because this is the motion of the day for you. And live it and enjoy it. And I'm so happy I can share it with all of you. It's going to be a lot of hard work here at St. George's University. You know that, I know that, but what I can tell you, you just saw there was a lot of people standing up here, that's alumni from the school. They all did it. If they could do it, they're obviously very good as well, but so are you. And you will be successful. With a bit of hard work, maybe a lot of hard work, you will be successful. Once again, congratulations to all of you, and enjoy this joyous occasion today. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Dr. Neil Olson, Dean of the School of Veterinary Medicine. Dr. Olson.
Thank you, Provost Jacobs, and thank you, Dr. Redmond, for serving as our MC today. We really enjoy having you here. It is also my pleasure and privilege to welcome all of you to St. George's University. To our students, today is your next step along the road of realizing your dream of becoming a veterinarian. Thank you all for being here for this wonderful event. And I just echo what Dr. Jacobs said. Thanks to all the parents and family members that have nurtured these students and helped them get to where they are today. Thank you very much. This white coat ceremony is a symbolic representation of your entry into the profession of veterinary medicine and a demonstration of your commitment to upholding the code of professional conduct expected of medical professionals. At the St. George's University School of Veterinary Medicine, there is no doubt as to what our collective job number one is, and that's to educate veterinary students. Our primary role is to prepare students to not only become licensed veterinarians, but also become leaders in the many facets of career opportunities that our dynamic profession offers. I love saying, it is truly an exciting time to be a veterinarian. It is truly an exciting time to embrace change within our profession. To the graduating class of 2027, there are many aspects of becoming a veterinarian you will soon encounter that go beyond the diagnosis and treatment of animal maladies and preventative care. In fact, I would argue that the veterinary profession is very much a people-oriented profession. Your success as a veterinarian will have more to do with your interactions with people than any other single variable. And besides, people pay the bills. In closing, graduating class of 2027, I look forward to greeting you on your graduation day in New York. Seems like a long ways off, but it's going to go fast. I look forward to working with you as future alumni as we navigate through the challenges and opportunities that surface in our changing environment. The experiences you will have at St. George's University will serve to enrich you personally and professionally. You have all worked diligently to become veterinary medical students, and I wish you every success as you strive to excel in your pursuit of the knowledge, skills, and attributes necessary for your successful career. Best of luck to you, and I also congratulate you on reaching this milestone. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Lisa Nolan. Dr. Nolan earned her Bachelor of Science degree in biology from Valdosta State College and her Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree and PhD degree from the University of Georgia. Currently, Dr. Nolan is the Georgia Athletics Association Distinguished Professor and Dean of the University of Georgia's College of Veterinary Medicine. Prior to joining the University of Georgia, Dr. Nolan served in several administrative roles in the College of Veterinary Medicine at Iowa State University. These roles included being the Dean, the Associate Dean of Research and Graduate Studies, the Associate Dean of Academic and Student Affairs, and the Chair of the Department of Veterinary Microbiology and Preventative Medicine. Dr. Nolan has received numerous honors over the course of her career, and I'll just highlight a couple. These include being named a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science and Fellow of the American Academy of Microbiology. She also received the Philbro Animal Health Excellence Award in Poultry Research. Her research centers on bacterial diseases that impact animal health, human health, and food safety. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Dr. Nolan with a thunderous round of applause.
Oh, thank you for the great welcome. It's so wonderful to be here, to see your beautiful campus, this lovely island, reconnect with old friends, make new ones, and of course, it's always a treat to offer advice to a captive audience. Big thanks to Dean Olson for inviting me. And now, freshmen, let me offer my sincerest congratulations on getting into veterinary college and living the passion that's led you here. Now let's get started. All right. Well, have you ever heard that old joke? Yeah. That goes something like this. What do newly graduating veterinarians want? They want a good job. What do seniors want? They just want to graduate. What do juniors want? To pass cardiology. What do sophomores want? To pass pathology. And what do freshmen want? Well, they just want to be veterinarians. I guess the joke is meant to poke fun at the touching naivete of freshman veterinary students such as yourselves. But from the first time I heard it, I thought the freshmen had it right. Don't you agree? They had their eyes on the ball, the big goal of becoming a veterinarian, which is amazingly easy to lose sight of amidst all the pressures and strivings of your education and everyday life. In other words, the freshmen had yet to forget what was really important. I bet that's true for you today as well. With that in mind, my job today is to help keep your eye on the ball being becoming a veterinarian and earning your DVM degree, what I call the golden passport to a lifetime of adventure and impact. Don't believe me? Well, my own life is a good example. Having grown up in the rural South, it wasn't until I graduated from college and taught high school for a while that I learned about veterinary medicine as a career path, a path linking my love of animals to my fascination with science. And I can assure you, when I was sitting where you are now, I never expected to become a veterinary scientist, a college professor, to study the bacteria that cause disease in poultry and humans, travel around the world, become dean of my alma mater, work with rock star veterinarians, and have a chance to talk with any of you. No, when I was in your seat so long ago, I just could not have conceived of the way my life would go just because I got a DVM. And I see the same thing over and over again with alumni coming back for their 10, 20, and even 50-year reunions. They lived lives of impact beyond their wildest imaginings as veterinary school freshmen. And if it can happen to me and them, it can happen to you too. Let me share some examples with you of veterinarians and their lives of impact. And there are countless ones to pick from. In fact, if you look up the history of the profession, you'll find that people who were experts in healing animals were known way back in 3000 BC. But it wasn't until 1761 that the first school of veterinary medicine was founded in Lyon, France. 30 years later, the London Veterinary College was established, and then it wasn't until the 1800s that the first U.S. colleges of veterinary medicine came online. And even from those earliest beginnings, you get the sense, as you read, that veterinary medicine and its practitioners were highly esteemed and valued members of their community. One story I particularly like is that of Dr. Daniel Salmon. He was the first person to earn a DVM in the U.S. in 1876 from Cornell. Dr. Salmon spent much of his career studying animal diseases within the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Interestingly, the genus Salmonella species is named after him. During his lifetime, he helped lead the development of veterinary medicine and veterinary medical education. He created the Bureau of Animal Industry within the USDA, where under his leadership, the agent of contagious bovine pleuropneumonia was eliminated, Babesia-caused Texas fever was controlled, the Federal Meat Inspection Service established, and if that were not enough, he established a veterinary department at the University of Montevideo in Uruguay. In other words, one man with a DVM changed the way we do animal agriculture and commerce in the United States and elsewhere for the better. What a life of impact he had. Remember that the next time you streak out a bacterial plate and isolate salmonella. One man, armed with a DVM and the education behind it, lived an amazing life of impact. And then there are veterinarians whose work is literally out of this world, like NASA's first veterinary astronaut, Dr. Richard Linehan, an Ohio State grad. I actually had the privilege of meeting with him when he spoke to our pre-vet club. He was fascinating, and his talk packed our largest lecture halls with young people he inspired into careers in science and medicine. Just think, another veterinarian living a life of impact. Do you think he knew he would be spacewalking when he sat where you are now? I don't think so. He was interested in exotic animal medicine, not aliens, but he's lived a life of impact, all because he got a DVM. And then there's Doctors Nancy and Gerald Jacks, another couple of veterinarians who've been especially inspiring to me. I first met them a long time ago, 25 years ago, when they spoke to my pathogenic microbiology class. They were lovely people who grew up in rural communities, went to veterinary college, and entered the Army, where they did a lot of work with guard dogs. Eventually, they moved to the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, also known as USAMRIID. Jerry was in laboratory animal medicine. Nancy was a pathologist. During their time at USAMRIID, they became directly involved in the first Ebola virus outbreak in the United States, as documented in the book, The Hot Zone. If you haven't read it, please get it and see how Nancy and Jerry from small town Kansas found themselves smack dab in the middle of this frightening disease outbreak. Wow, what an amazing impact these two had, all because they got that golden ticket. And And throughout my career, I have continued to be astounded by veterinarians doing astounding things. I met one just a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Judy St. Ledger. Honest, she should probably be called Judy St. Legend. Judy's another Cornell grad with training as a pathologist, and she specializes in aquatic and bird health. On a day's notice, Judy flew into Georgia, performed a 12-hour necropsy on an 8,000-pound whale, and flew home to New York, all in the same day. She ran a 20-person crew with residents, interns, veterinary students, and faculty with precision, compassion, and respect, teaching all the while. Her passion for her work and deep well of experience were awe-inspiring. I dare say some of those exhausted young people left the necropsy that day with new fire in their bellies and a much richer understanding of what veterinary medicine is all about. In other words, Judy is living a life of impact and inspiring others, all because she became a veterinarian. And there are just so many others. One story I love to tell is about Dr. Jorg Mayer. When I first started my job as Dean of Georgia, I made the rounds of all our stakeholder groups, asking for feedback on what we could do to serve them better. One message came across loud and clear from farmers across the state. They needed help with the honeybees. You see, the Food and Drug Administration had upended their world by mandating that licensed veterinarians be involved in prescribing antibiotics for honeybees. Now, feeling some urgency about this, I asked the faculty, what are we doing about the honeybees? As it turned out, we weren't doing anything. That is, until Dr. Jorg Mayer, one of our exotic animal veterinarians, took it upon himself to get educated about honeybees. He set up a honeybee medicine program. We think it might be the first in the United States. Now, do you think he knew when he got his doctorate at the University of Budapest that he knew he'd become a critical expert in fighting the decline of the honeybees? I seriously doubt it. He was interested in reptiles and amphibians. Now he's teaching fourth-year veterinary students how to care for bees and beehives. These students have their own club. They fund their activities by selling honey from their hives. They've also discovered new ways to monitor the health of the hives and are assisting with clinical trials of the first ever honeybee vaccine. Wow, Jorg is living an amazing life of impact. And how about Dr. Chad Smith, another veterinarian whose work is awe-inspiring? Chad is one of the very few people in the world to perform kidney transplants in cats. People fly in all over the world seeking Chad's help in caring for their beloved felines. On top of all this, I can tell you, Chad is a very nice person. He's married, has 2 children. They have horses, goats, and chicken on a small farm. You just never know he was practically a celebrity. I asked Chad what inspired his amazing work. He told me his mentor was a veterinarian named John McAnulty, who got a PhD in transplant biology. He was a veterinary surgeon and a professor at Wisconsin. And at that time, he was only one of 2 people in the entire world that had an active renal transplant program for veterinary patients. Chad said of Dr. McAnulty, he was attracted to challenges, thrived on problems that required creative solutions, and sought out paradigm-shifting conclusions. I ask you, freshmen, does that sound like any of you in the audience? What will you do for our beloved profession? And let me tell you about a few more amazing veterinarians. Dr. Paige Carmichael is a pathologist. She got her DVM from Tuskegee. She's an amazing and charismatic teacher. Truly, I wish I had a nickel for every student who's told me that Paige was an inspiration to them. She's been awarded numerous teaching awards and is committed to mentoring and helping students and faculty find their career paths. Having lived such a life of impact, I wondered who inspired her. She quickly responded with Dr. Margie Lee, a veterinarian Paige considers larger than life. According to Paige, Margie is over 6 feet tall when she's wearing her 4-inch heels, and she rides a Ducati motorbike. I'm assuming not at the same time. Now, Margie told Paige that the key to success was to work hard, challenge the status quo, and don't let anyone make you a stereotype, and above all, be proud of who you are and give back to your community. Clearly, Paige took her advice to heart and has worked hard to improve the lives and careers of hundreds of young people. 2 veterinarians making a difference in the world. Another one I admire is Brandy Burgess. She's an epidemiologist, expert in large animal medicine and infection control and biosecurity. During the COVID pandemic, when everything looked its bleakest, Brandy went to work, helping to ensure that our hospital and the university kept their doors open safely. It was a lot of work, but she stepped up to provide the kind of leadership that was needed in the crisis. Did she think she'd ever help a university navigate a pandemic? I don't think so. But armed with her DVM and specialty training, she was ready when the time came. She in turn admires Dr. Lyle Petrie. She talked about one of her early cases, a dairy cow who was a poor doer with a waxing and waning appetite and intermittent ruminal tympany. She was beginning to work up when Dr. Petrie, a Scotsman, walked into the room. Aye, she's a hardware. Better do a poll test in a thick Scottish road. I'm sorry, I can't do one. Brandy said her first thought was she had no idea what he just said. Then decided to do a poll test. The cow reacted painfully, suggesting she did have traumatic reticuloperitonitis. Brandy's next thought, how did he know that? How did he know that by just looking at her? She said she learned a lot from Dr. Petrie, but nothing more valuable than the power of observation. And then there's Andy Parks, a longtime faculty member who's probably taught surgery to most DVM graduates of the University of Georgia. He admires Dr. Steve Jagir, a superb clinician scientist. Andy talks about his productivity, creativity. Creativity comes up a lot. Have you noticed that? Creative approaches to medicine, but also his mentorship of others, his honesty and kindness. Though he left us too soon, Steve made an indelible mark on all who knew him. Dr. Divers is another very cool veterinarian who was educated in London. He spent his career in zoo medicine. I love to cruise by his office because it's wall-to-wall marine aquaria full of fascinating creatures. When visitors tour our hospital, we always take them to where Steve is working because we know he'll be doing something amazing. One day it's an alligator, another a python, or pet pig, or a rooster, but whatever it is, Steve will make it fascinating and inspiring. Who inspired him? A veterinarian by the name of Dr. Dermot Malley. Dr. Dermot graduated from Trinity College in Dublin, moved to England after graduation and set up a small animal practice. Several years later, Steve met him and was impressed by his willingness to share his knowledge and his humility. He did repeated externships at Dermot's practice and worked up cases like confiscation of nearly 300 pythons at Heathrow Airport. Dermot taught him the importance of making a diagnosis rather than treating symptoms. He says he owes a lot to Dermot's inspiring example. And I tell you, a lot of people tell you the same thing about Steve. Well, I'll skip Jesse. But I'll tell you, Jesse is another pathologist, and he led also during the COVID pandemic. I think a lot of people didn't realize what high-quality medicine we practice in veterinary medicine. But they know now, because in a lot of South Georgia was the hospitals couldn't open because they couldn't do COVID testing. But Jesse and his team in our diagnostic lab did it. And he talks about being inspired by Dr. Norm Chevelle. Oh, there he is. Dr. Norm Chevelle, who he says was a pioneer who advanced veterinary medicine and demonstrated just how far veterinarians with drive and perseverance could go. And speaking of, I did it again. I'll stop. Those folks. And speaking of veterinary pioneers, well, I got your attention. It was intentional. And speaking of veterinary pioneers like Dr. Chevelle, makes me think of Drs. John Moschel and Karin Allenspa. They're working to bring precision medicine approaches to the treatment of animals. Keep an eye on their work. John's a pharmacologist with a degree from Budapest. Karin's a gastroenterologist with her degree from Zurich. They're going to do amazing things. So I hope you get the idea. You can chart your own course with that golden passport and live a career of adventure and impact. And when you and your classmates gather for your 50th year anniversary, like our last class here, you'll find that some have had noble careers as practitioners in government service or academia, or even as astronauts, but all have lived a life that they could not have imagined because they got a DVM. And you should never forget, along the way, you're going to serve as inspiration to others. Also, before I close, I did want all of you to know we love the St. George's students that come and spend their senior year with us. Here are some folks being hooded on our campus from St. George's, and now they're off on their own adventure. So thank you again for letting me celebrate the beginnings of your journey with you. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nolan, for those inspiring words. Truly a great example of what we can become, and it can be almost anything. Based on recommendations made by the AVMA, our school introduced a professionalism course for the incoming class, and its first component, a 2-day professional attributes workshop called PAWS, was recently completed. A slideshow from this term's PAWS will be shown later in the ceremony. It is befitting that after completing this professionalism workshop, you are officially welcomed into the Veterinary Society. The white coat serves as a symbol of professionalism, and to welcome each of you to the veterinary medical profession, SGU SVM will now present you with a white coat. It symbolizes your entry to the profession and your commitment to uphold the duties of the profession. Robing at the white coat ceremony is considered to be an honor and must be pre-approved. To assist the keynote speaker, Dr. Lisa Nolan, and myself with robing, I now invite to the stage Dr. Mohammed Bayat, Associate Dean of Students for the School of Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Diana Stone, Professor in the Pathobiology Department, School of Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Hugo Fonseca, Professor in the Anatomy, Physiology, and Pharmacology Department, School of Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Wayne Sylvester, Medical Director, Small Animal Clinic, School of Veterinary Medicine, and Dr. Stuart Gordon, Associate Professor in the Large Animal Medicine and Surgery Department of our School of Veterinary Medicine. I also invite Dean Olson to the stage to extend congratulations to each incoming student. In recognition of our international enrollment, Dr. Tara Patterson, Assistant Dean, 4th Year Clinical Training, will call each student by name. Please hold your applause until all students have been robed. And for safety, we ask the audience to kindly remain seated and not interrupt the ceremony by taking pictures in the forward section of the hall. Thank you for your cooperation.
Dylan Schwartz, Florida. Maeve Rogers, Texas. Michaela Cotton, North Carolina. Jade Lopez, Washington. Sabrina L. Martinez Ortiz, Puerto Rico. Clive Ferguson, the Bahamas. Ebony Weber, Maryland. Tatiana Thompson, the Bahamas. Jada Ashley John, Trinidad and Tobago. Beatrice Cahouette, Quebec. Nicholas Aaron, Trinidad and Tobago. Desiree Edwards, Georgia. Alexander Hill, Pennsylvania. Alyssa Culp, New Jersey. Harley Hickey, Kansas. Nicole Urrutia, New Jersey. MJ de la Lutz, Mexico. Julia Vaccaro, New York. Sydney Potpora, Indiana. Hannah Solohub, Texas. Brandy Ryan, Virginia. Laura Kuntz, Arkansas. Jonathan Perez Silva, California. Xavier Saludo, Guam. Sally Jin, California. Catherine Kudrashov, New Jersey. Gina DiNardo, Massachusetts. Tiffany Wheely, Tennessee. Heather Duggar, Missouri. Jacqueline Guardia, Texas. Julie Burns, Pennsylvania. Millie Harvey, the United Kingdom. Gabriela Mora, Florida. Candy Maya, California. Tasia Bati, Texas. Issa Raymond, Connecticut. Destiny D'Alessandro, Texas. Catherine Diaz Quintero, Florida. Claire Woodliff, North Carolina. Andrew Doan, California. Renee Lau, California. Victoria Miller, Quebec, Canada. Akanksha Mata, Virginia. Luke Griffin, Georgia. Sarah Turner, Virginia. Victoria Iacono, New York. Igrena Aponte Marrero, Puerto Rico. Melissa Konopinski, New Jersey. Olivia Emmett, Delaware. Isabel Goza, Texas. Amber Sanders, Illinois. Karolina Kotsakova, Czech Republic. Cassie Powell, Georgia. Maddie Bull, Florida. Sydney Brennan, New York. Maria Alejandra Rivero Salas, Texas. Hannah Kale, Michigan. Alexandra Bally, Ontario, Canada. Brittany Dowling, New York. Scotia Evans, Ontario, Canada. Jack Murphy, New York. Ashley Rose Humphreys, New Hampshire. Kayla Rubin, Pennsylvania. Olivia McClure, Louisiana. Christopher Anders, Florida. Nicole Jones, Florida. Shay Pike, California. Shannon Campbell, Pennsylvania. Brianna Delmar, New Jersey. Courtney Withy, Maine. Kayla Lee, Illinois. Andrea Lopez, California. Raquel Larson, Utah. Ellie Shimoniak, Utah. Hannah Weber, New York. Samantha Simdorn, Nebraska. Kaylee Howard, New Jersey. Sarah Files, Florida. Brandon Maher, Washington. Nicole Fish, Arizona. Amy Chapajikan, Florida. Maddie Wyrick, Montana. Riley Dahlman, Indiana. Marissa Elizabeth, North Carolina. Stephanie Filio, Maryland. Courtney Pennell, Florida. Nicolina Peterson, Texas. Alyssa Fenn, California. Helena Bell, Ohio. Rebecca Machado, Florida. Lathira Amarajiwa, Alberta, Canada. Xander Allen, New Hampshire. Christopher Fusile, Louisiana. Haley Schwartz, Ohio. Brandy Cook, Pennsylvania. Hillary Dam, California. Amy Brown, Idaho. Olivia Copper, Texas. Catherine Kurtz, Ohio. Julia Carter, Florida. Jacob Horton, Utah. Megan Kreider, North Carolina. Emily Gardner, California. Sarah Kukuk, Texas. Jake De Niro, New York. Mackenzie Isle, Ohio. Paula Blazczak, Illinois. Emily Stewart, Iowa. Emily Atkinson, Georgia. Natasha Bereda, Florida. Amy Okano, New York. Megan Wood, New Hampshire. Stephanie Liu, Ontario, Canada. Emma Creaky, Wisconsin. Desiree Arsamont, Texas. Josephine Rodriguez, California. Kelly Brander, North Carolina. Macy Brand, New Jersey. Devin Rostick, Pennsylvania. Emma Matz, Washington. Rachel LaRue, Indiana. Carly Seifman, Michigan. Kinga Aleto, Florida. Ellen Hufford, Virginia. Jessica Beeler, Illinois. Madison Pineda, Georgia. Kendall Solis, Washington. Stephanie Fasciano, Pennsylvania. Kaylee Bosman, Colorado. Kennedy Coleman, Louisiana. Daniela Shenning Lopez, Puerto Rico. Brianna Lopez, Texas. Jason Chen, New York. Adam Chard, Ontario, Canada. JT Perigin, Tennessee. Kirsten Zimmerman, Virginia. Delaney Corbett, Arizona. Paige Terry, Indiana. Justin Manzer, Virginia. Ryder Stewart, Virginia. Nathan Gosdor, Michigan. Lily Samborska, New York. Nicole Kuhn, New York. Gregory James, Texas. Sydney Charleston, New York. Perrin Barnes, Alabama. Harmon Geller, North Carolina. Abigail Laborde, California. Nicole Ferrer, Florida. Irene Monaco, Florida. Eliza Idar, Virginia. Linda Lozada, New York. Kieran Tahir, New York. Darian Springfield, Kansas. Ali Acosta, Indiana. Freddie Jr. Ballister, New Jersey. Ryan Fenn, California. Kimberly Polisar, Florida. Hannah Albritton, Florida. Nicole Land, Texas. Andrew Cookston, Georgia. Mackenzie Clark, Tennessee. Marina Robeck, West Virginia. Andrea Rodriguez, Puerto Rico. Barbara Rodriguez, California. Victoria Keller, New York. Celeste Barbosa, Texas. Rachel Elaine, Georgia. Kaylee Cormier, Florida. Anise Gonzalez Villalobos, Puerto Rico. Christina Garcia, New Jersey. I will now ask our coders to exit the stage while we have the last set of students with their special coders to come on up. Gina Gom, Pennsylvania, being coated by her mentor, Jeffrey DeWire. Anais D'Angel Figueroa, Puerto Rico, being coated by her father, Jose D'Angel. Taylor Edwinson, Texas, being coded by an SGU 2020 SVM graduate, Dr. Felicia Gutierrez. Ben Self, Oklahoma, being coded by his mentor, Alyssa Hackaby. Caitlin Chernicki, Massachusetts, being coded by her mentor, Karen Kazarowski. Congratulations to the class of 2027.
I now invite Dr. Amanda Morancic, Assistant Professor in the Small Animal Medicine and Surgery Department, to lead the students in reciting aloud the professional commitment.
Good morning, guys. I'd like to ask all of our Term 1 students to please stand. I'd also like to ask all of the veterinarians that are here to please also stand in support of our students. Now, hopefully all of you have your programs. I want to ask all of our Term 1 students to read the professional commitment along with me. Everybody got it? All right. Being accepted into the profession of veterinary medicine, I solemnly swear to further my knowledge and skills for the benefit of society through the protection of animal health, the relief of animal suffering, the conservation of animal resources, the promotion of public health, and the advancement of medical knowledge. I will conduct my studies conscientiously, with dignity, and in keeping with the principles of veterinary medical ethics. I accept my responsibility to assist my colleagues to achieve our mutual goals. I acknowledge my obligation to adhere to the university's honor code and to conduct myself with integrity and an ethical manner at all times. It is a privilege to have been given the opportunity to become a veterinarian. I will be ever conscious of that privilege and never abuse it. Thank you. You may be seated.
As you've heard, the incoming class has just completed a professional attributes workshop known as PAWS. Aside from your technical patience, aside from your technical veterinary skills, PAWS focuses on the development of those life skills needed for success: communication, teamwork, and professionalism. To be a successful veterinarian, you need to have excellent people skills. You need to be a responsible member of a team, and you also need to become a servant leader. Without these skills, we will fail to fulfill our veterinary obligation to be an advocate for those who cannot speak for themselves, our animal patients, and to use our skills for the benefit of society. The PAWS student facilitators will now share some of this experience with you through a special presentation. While pause is a course, I hope that that slideshow helps remind all of you how fun learning can be and that there are skills that you are developing even during those times. As a former pause facilitator myself, I share in the pride that I have over my own courses or terms that I had groups every year. On behalf of SGU, I would like to thank the students, families, faculty, staff, and administrators for your support and your presence at this ceremony. You are all invited to join us for a reception at Modica Hall open floor up the hill. I ask that you please remain seated and wait until directed by the ushers to exit the side doors, and thank you again for coming.